Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. So today is another video about Katie because as many of you know, Katie does the absolute most when she's in the middle of getting sued. These bangs are really something. So quick disclaimer, I do cuss in my videos, and while I try to keep it to a minimum, it happens. So if you have any little ones around, please go watch something else and please come back because I would love to have you here. Also, my daughter says it's very important to ask you to hit the subscribe button down below. Yeah, so there's that. All right, let's just get into this. So, apparently, now I did not see this part happen. I didn't even go back to try to watch it because it didn't seem that important. But apparently, Uncivil Law. If you don't know, he's another he does what Emily Baker does. He's a lawyer. He commentates on legal cases, And he's talked about Katie in the past with her Tati Westbrook lawsuit and settlement. And I'm sure, he's covering what's going on now. And it's also important to note that recently he had Nate the lawyer. He had Charlotte, who I love so much. Congratulations, Charlotte, for doing that stream. I think it was awesome to see you, just interacting with other YouTubers and being on a bigger channel. That's always really fun and interesting. And so congratulations to Charlotte. And LB was up there as well. I love her. I like watching her. I could sit there and listen to her talk all day about her family and stuff that's not even related. But anyway, so he had them on. He was discussing some of Katie's case. I believe it was the 7M one. I could be wrong. I get mixed up very easily. But anyway, in another video, as far as I'm aware, like I said, I did not look this up. I always tell you guys whether I've seen it or I haven't. In this case, I did not see it. But apparently Uncivil made a comment that was pretty straightforward and pretty direct and kind of did throw me off as well. I watched Renelle Smith's video and she was like, I can't believe he said this. And I kind of feel the same way. He made a statement that Todd Chrisley was going to jail, in which from a lawyer standpoint and seeing all these defamation cases, to say something so matter of fact, it was kind of shocking. It was like, shouldn't you not say that? Because you don't know if he's going, if you just said, in my opinion, from reading these legal documents, he's going to jail. I don't know. But anyway, that aside, he makes a statement. And of course, Katie comes out of nowhere and messages Uncivil Law. So basically, if you haven't seen this behavior from Katie before, I'll explain it to you. Anyone who says something negative about the person that Katie is in a feud with or can't stand or in a lawsuit with, for example, anyone, if Katie hears that they don't like that person or they said something negative about that person, she'll come online and be like, I love this, as if they're on her side automatically because they have feelings about the other person. And that's not necessarily true. So she hears that Uncivil said Todd Chrisley was going to jail. And she's like, I love Uncivil. He's the best. I talked to him the other day, a matter of fact. And it's just like, Katie, we see through your bullshit. Not everyone who doesn't like the person that you're in the midst of a lawsuit with, not everyone that dislikes the other person is on your side. So she goes on to say that she had a conversation with Uncivil and that somewhere along the lines it was mentioned that she believed that he destroyed Charlotte. And I don't understand that. I don't see at all where that come from. And if you don't know what Uncivil's stance was on most of these lawsuits against Katie, including the Tati one, basically Uncivil, if you watch Emily Baker, Emily gets really into it and she's like, oh, this is good or that's good, for both sides. But, when the lawyers file stuff, she gets really overhyped and excited, where Uncivil's coverage is more like, yeah, that seems normal. Yeah, I would file that. He's very indifferent and just sees it as basic legal practices. So in the Tati case, his opinion was that there really wasn't much there. He didn't feel like there was much there, where we, as an audience, I can speak for most of us, I'm sure, we were like, oh shit, they got all these videos, like she said it, there it is. And you feel like there's concrete proof that she said the defamatory things. But for Uncivil, it's kind of like, I don't feel like they have a lot. And that was his opinion. So Katie, after saying that, she talked to Uncivil and he destroyed Charlotte for whatever reason, I really just don't understand that, because it wasn't like that at all. He was very supportive of Charlotte. He was actually commenting in a live stream after she had been on his channel. I was watching that, so I don't get that at all. But she goes on to say, my legal team, when I was in the Tati lawsuit, the only one that they liked covering the case was Uncivil. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense, because he was the only one saying that you might not lose. But that doesn't mean he's on your side. So Uncivil ended up coming online to address this, because I don't think anybody wants, Katie going around being like, yeah, I totally talked to this person. They're like, no. I spoke to you. I said, hey. But that was about it. So Uncivil comes on, and he explains that he didn't say anything about talking to Katie because he didn't find it very important. Katie had sent him a message and reached out to him because, and I find this so fascinating, and I think my thoughts kind of align with Renelle Smith on this one as well. So the point of Katie messaging Uncivil was to let him know. I'm sorry, I can't. And I feel like I'm going to hiccup. Hold tight. No hiccup? Okay, I don't know. So the whole point of messaging Uncivil was to let him know that she will not go bankrupt from all these lawsuits. And Renelle Smith makes such a good point. She's like, if I was being sued, I would make sure everyone knew that, I'm broke as fuck. You're not going to get shit out of me, so there's no point in proceeding. But Katie over here is going out of her way to message people and be like, I'm not going to go broke. I got money. Okay, I got money. This will not break me. And it's just like, to me, it's common sense. Don't do that. Don't brag about the money you got when you're being sued, because eventually someone's going to take some of that money. And I don't care how much money you got. I don't want to lose none of my money that I work for. You know what I'm saying? That's craziness. But Uncivil goes on to say that that's the purpose of her reaching out, was to clarify that she will not go bankrupt, that she's got money, this will not break her. And then they did go on to talk a little bit about the Tati Westbrook lawsuit and settlement. And again, Katie says that her legal team loved his coverage of it. Again, that's because he was very much kind of underwhelmed by the lawsuit against her and didn't feel as though it had much ground to stand on. Whatever. That was just his take on it. But Katie took that as he's on my side. And if you don't remember this or never heard about this, Katie used to be friends with Nate the lawyer, and that friendship ended in his coverage of that lawsuit because he was honest and was like, this doesn't look good for Katie. And Katie was like, we're no longer friends. and then she hated him. So I find it fascinating that the minute someone disagrees with her, she cuts them off like, you ain't shit. And then the minute that it sounds like someone could have her back, she's like, I love this person. They're amazing. My legal team, they love you. That's not how it works. So Nate explains that he didn't feel like it was that big of a deal that he had this conversation with Katie, but he wanted to make it clear that she reached out to him to explain that she was not broke, that this was not going to bankrupt her, that they discussed the Tati thing, but it wasn't that big of a deal, but that from now on, he would probably make it more public knowledge if she spoke to him. Basically, what I took away from that was, he didn't think it was a big deal, but, when she goes on to like IG or wherever she was posting all that and making it seem like something it wasn't, he's like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. This shit right here, we're not doing that. So, yeah, he made the statement that from now on he'd probably make it more public. So, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But overall, oh, I missed a point. I'm sorry. So, Katie also says in that live stream she was doing, she's like, me and Tati both have the right to clear up any misinformation talked about as far as the lawsuit or the settlement. Like, we have the right to defend ourselves and clear up any misinformation. And I do think it's so fascinating, and I don't know how I feel about it, that Katie would be talking about an old settled lawsuit while currently into other lawsuits. You know what I mean? Like, it always feels like she can't stop herself and keep her mouth shut. Like, let that lie in the past, because you already have this going on right now. I don't see it benefiting her to continuously point out that she had a lawsuit. And I think maybe in Katie's mind she thinks, because she made the statement, I don't know if y'all remember, but back in the day she made the statement that she won the lawsuit, but that's not what happened. It settled out of court. And she gave up her source and threw him under the bus and got out of it. So I don't know if she thinks this helps her case to be like, I settled a lawsuit and it was fine and we're good. But to me, it's like, I would not be pointing out, while being sued by two people, I would not point out any prior lawsuits. Like, yeah, I've been sued before. I don't care what the outcome was. I don't think I would personally want to bring that up. Like, it doesn't look good that you've been sued so many times. That's one of the main things that all of us commentary channels focus on, is that this is something she has done several times. And so I don't understand why she feels so strongly that she needs to clear up misinformation, where, from my perspective and my opinion, I wouldn't say shit about it. It's settled. It's over. What's done is done. But Katie cannot keep her mouth shut, and she cannot let things go. And it does not seem to matter how much these things could hurt her in the long run. She just, I don't know, man. I don't know, because it's like part of her is like trying to clear her name and clear things up, but the other part of her is like dying for attention, and it just continuously seems to not do her any good. And I also want to point out and kind of echo what Renelle Smith said in her video about this, because I definitely stand behind this thought, is that Katie is so worried about clearing these things up from her perspective in her case, but yet, has she ever come on and cleared up the things that she said about people that hurt people? She has accused people of crimes and never, not once, come online and said that what she said was wrong. Now, Renelle gives other names and examples. I'm just going to say this. Tati's husband, she accused him of taking his mother off of life support to get her money and her estate. If Katie wants to clear things up about that lawsuit in that time period, why not clear that up? Why not, while you're setting the record straight, take back some of that shit you said? I'm just saying, instead of leaving it at, well, somebody told me that, why not clear that up? But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Would you be telling people that you're rich and you're not going to go bankrupt and bringing up past lawsuits while you're currently being sued? What do you think about Katie always, anytime someone is against the person she's against, she basically goes online and kisses their ass very publicly? Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. That's what's going on. I found it interesting enough to make a video. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.